Hello, my name is Anthony Davis. I'm an estate planning attorney that works with the law offices of Christopher Nudo. I have about 10 years experience. What I'm going to be doing today is reacting to the 1988 film Rain Man. We have a specific scene in here, which is a will reading. The character played by Tom Cruise, his father has just passed away, and he has been summoned to his house to hear the way that his father's estate is going to be distributed. It's going to be read to him by his father's attorney, and let's find out if this distribution is something that pleases Mr. Cruz, or if he's going to be unhappy, and kind of what the legal ramifications of all of this is.
Understandable as well. Your refusal to even pretend that you loved or respected me, all these I forgive. But your failure to write, to telephone, to re-enter my life in any way has left me without a son. I wish...
Okay, so that right there isn't good. It suggests that we're going to see a disinheritance. And this is what they're doing right now is they're just reading a letter that had been pre-written by the father prior to his passing. We haven't gotten to the will yet. And you can kind of infer that just based on how the document looks here.
You all I ever wanted for you. I wish you the best.
All right, there we go. That looks like a will. We've got the blue back that they've been drafting those with for about 30, 40 years now. You can tell it's been folded into thirds. Looks like a classic will. So let's see how the father wanted his estate distributed.
I hereby bequeath to my son, Charles...
Bequeath is just a fancy term for a specific distribution. It's probably going to be some kind of household item or vehicle.
Sanford Babbitt, that certain Buick convertible, the very car that unfortunately brought our relationship to an end.
Okay, so we would never do that in real life where we get into the actual legal document and we have that kind of emotional language. That's not the purpose of these legal documents. They're specifically for the distribution of assets, not an avenue for somebody to express their personal feelings or sentiments. And certainly we don't want to have these kinds of negative or hostile ones propping up. It just opens the estate up to litigation, both on the basis of the decedent lacking legal capacity at the time that the document was finalized. In addition, wills, when they are filed, they become public documents. So that's generally not something that you want to see immortalized in the county courthouse. And finally, you can kind of imagine the way that these get used in the real world. A judge is going to be administering them, and the judge, of course, doesn't care about any of this kind of additional nasty language that's been being included in the document.
Also, outright title to my prize-winning hybrid rose bushes. May they remind him of the value of excellence and the possibility of perfection. As for my home and all other property, real and personal, these shall be placed in trust, in accordance with the terms of that certain instrument.
Okay. So I actually love that reaction there where Tom Cruise just kind of leans forward like, what? We got a couple things going on here. So of course he's angry because we're starting to get the feeling that this is in fact a disinheritance. And yes, in the real world, this is a way that disinheritances are sometimes done, where you make a few kind of nominal distributions and then go on and the bulk of the estate is distributed elsewhere. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but that's one way that it's done. So that's certainly realistic. Also, Tom Cruise just not really understanding the language, right? Like we're moving along in this sea of legalese, and now he's getting kind of lost. And in addition, people generally know what a will is, but a trust is kind of an alien term. So this reaction, to me, it seems very, very believable.
A certain instrument executed concurrently herewith.
What does that mean, the last part? What does that mean?
It means that the estate, in excess of $3 million after expenses and taxes, will go into a trust fund for a beneficiary to be named in this document.
Okay. So there's a couple things going on there. So this is good drama, but this isn't something that we would typically want to. This isn't how I would prepare an estate plan for an estate like this. We've got a large estate here. It's $3 million in 1988 money. That's about $8 million now. Typically, in a state like this, you want to bend over backwards to keep it out of the probate court system. By going with a will, we've condemned it to going through the probate court system. In addition, now we're introducing this idea of we're going to have the estate go through probate. And then, as part of that probate, we're going to create a trust out of it. That's called a testamentary trust. We normally never do those because it's just considered wasteful. If ultimately we were going to prepare a trust, why not just start with that? Why go through the probate court system? I can understand why it is that the writers created this scene in this manner. It's great drama. We've got our will reading, perfect environment for emotions to run. And wills are also more relatable. And then we can kind of bring in this trust concept to set up the overarching narrative. But in real life, this isn't what I would expect to have happen. In addition, the idea, and we know that when he's talking about the trust, that he's talking about a testamentary trust because he's waving the will around. So we know that will is what's creating the trust. But in addition, the idea that the people managing the documents or managing these accounts aren't going to be known, that seems a bit far-fetched to me. Typically, those identifications are made in the document, and then because wills are public record, everybody's going to know.
Who is that?
No, I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Who controls the money?
Right, it just doesn't seem likely to me that we're not going to know who the beneficiary is, and we're not going to know who's going to be controlling the money.
And you control the money?
No, he's called a trustee.
What is that? How does that work?
Okay, very relatable scene here. We're starting to get rapid fire questions from Tom Cruise. He's irritated by this lawyer, as he should be. The lawyer's falling back into legalese at a very, very bad time. And you can just feel the discomfort and the anger coming up from Tom Cruise's character, which in my opinion is absolutely correct. Very early in my career, I learned that you can't talk this way to clients, that it's a bad habit. A lot of attorneys fall into it, but it's a bad habit. And if you don't break it, these are the kinds of reactions that you're going to get.
Forgive me, but there's nothing more I can say. And
the attorney's being condescending here. Not good.
Sorry, son. I can see that you're disappointed.
Disappointed? Why should I be disappointed? I got rose bushes, didn't I? I got a used car, didn't I? What's his name? What'd you call him? The
beneficiary.
Right, beneficiary. He got $3 million.
The subtext to all of this, too, because of the way the attorney is approaching it, is that Tom Cruise's character is stupid for not knowing this language, which is completely unfair to his character. And of course, in real life, clients feel this way as well. If you don't break yourself of this habit.
$1 million, but he didn't get the rose bushes. I got the rose bushes. I definitely got the rose bushes.
Charles.
I definitely got the rose bushes. Those are rose bushes.
There's no need to.
To what? To be upset? To be upset? If there is a hell, sir, my father's in it, and he is looking up right now, and he is laughing his ass off. Sanford Babbitt, you want to be that guy's son for 5 minutes? Did you hear that letter? Were you listening?
Yes, sir, I was. Were you?
Yeah, a great performance from Tom Cruise here. The attorney going into "Were you listening?" that kind of monotone sarcasm. It's a great contrast in the scene, but in real life, terrible. Just terrible. No empathy, no emotion on the attorney's part, no sense of what Tom Cruise's character is going for. Whether you're rooting for him or against him. And again, just more legalese and sarcasm over it. Just really bad practice. That, unfortunately, I still find there's lots of attorneys that fall into that cliche. So that certainly seems plausible to me. As a whole, I think this was a pretty good scene. I think it captured the emotion really well of what it's like to go into a law office and then have an attorney that's maybe not quite as empathetic as he should be, who's developed some bad habits, reading off all of this legalese. I think that's very accurate. I think that the emotional reaction of Tom Cruise here throughout the scene has been spot on. That being said, kind of the technical legal elements, I don't think is really good. The estate plan that was prepared, quite frankly, seems a little preposterous to me. But I suppose technically it's possible. Like you could do it like this. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Um, and of course, having that nasty legal language in the will itself, you would never do anything like that. But that's my reaction to The Rain Man. Great film. Check it out. If you thought this was good, believe me, the rest of the movie is fantastic. But if you guys have any kind of follow up questions that you have about estate plans in general, feel free to reach out to me, or just provide your comments on this particular scene. But look forward to talking to you guys, and have a great rest of the day.